Hi, everybody. Welcome to Pitch Nights by Eureeca, the only multi-regulated crowdfunding platform. Thank you again for joining me, Nancy Tabara, Senior Investor Relations Manager. With me tonight are 4 growth companies or startups pitching their businesses to you and offering the opportunity to invest. We'll start by the pitches, followed by a Q&A session. Please be reminded to access the investment opportunities via the chat, as well as our website. We'll start off the night with PawPots. PawPots provides freshly cooked food for pets. It's the first in the region, addressing the $250 billion pet care market. I would also like you guys to know that PawPots is also a winner of the Nestle Purina Award back in 2021. The award ensures that the startup or the winners launch their businesses in the UAE. PawPots is currently 72% funded and actually crossed the 50 mark rather quickly on our platform. Please welcome Jad. Jad, all yours.
Thank you, Nancy. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Let me share my screen. Just a second. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I adopted Stark 4 years ago, and from day one, he became a family member. So we needed to treat him right and provide him with the best lifestyle. First thing to do was to feed him. So I went to the supermarket and grabbed a bag of dry food like everyone else. After a couple of weeks, I started questioning if Stark will strive on dry food. Does he really like it? Is it healthy for him? In fact, dry food is processed multiple times at extremely high temperatures, and it's full of preservatives and chemicals, causing cancer, obesity, digestion problems, and eventually a shorter lifespan. The second problem I faced was medical care. Every time I needed to take him to the vet, I needed to take a day off from work, waste time on the road, and pay for expensive vet visits, where 50% of the visits were not really necessary. These pet parents' problems needed a solution, and that's why we created PawPots. So PawPots is an online pet health platform with 2 main offerings: fresh natural food and online vet consultancy with the digital medical records. With this, we ensure a healthier life for pets with convenience and peace of mind for pet parents. So when it comes to PawPots meals, they're made from human-grade ingredients, personalized and delivered. And the whole process is managed online. So how it works, simply, you fill in your pet's profile online and pick the recipes. Then the meals will be delivered to your place, packed in daily portions. Just open and serve. And on the same platform, pet parents can consult a vet through video call or chat. And we're also replacing the traditional paper booklet with a digital medical record and reminders. So PawPots was the first to market in the region 4 years ago. Our competitive edge is clear. Our food is healthier, personalized, convenient, and well-priced. In addition to the food, on the same platform, as we mentioned, pet parents have access to the pet health services as a one-stop shop approach. We're keeping our leadership position through continuous innovation and addition of more pet care services under one platform. The global pet care market will reach $250 billion by 2026. We are targeting 4 countries with around 5 million pets. This will give us an obtainable market share of $20 million. Our revenue stream is mainly based on subscription. for meals and telehealth. And the main channel of sales is direct to customers. We're now expanding to retail and veterinarians. We now have more paying subscribers with more than 95% retention. We're currently operating in Lebanon and UAE, and our goal is to, for the next 2 years, is to scale to 2 other countries with added features and services. So in the last 12 months, we've had a growth of 400%, and that's with almost no marketing effort. Due to the virgin market, when it comes to this new concept, we expect to quickly grow through marketing, strategic partnerships, and regional expansion. We are projecting a $20 million revenue by 2026 with a 30% net profit. Through Eureeca crowdfunding, we're raising $250,000 to $500,000, which will be used on marketing, R&D, and developing the tech platform. We've already reached, as Nancy mentioned, 72% of our target, and we're looking to close the round as soon as possible to move fast with our plans. We've reached so far, thanks to an amazing team of engineers, business developers, and scientists. Now we're looking to hire experts in the field of marketing and product development to complement our skills and reach our new targets. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Jad. How bad is pet food nowadays, supermarket shelf food? And if you can let us know what is human grade nutrition?
Sure. So pet food, and then as I mentioned, when we started PawPots, with the minimum effort, you see the process, you understand the process of producing pet food, which is by extruding and by really high temperature. So the food, regardless of the source of the food, which can be sometimes brought from what we call 4Ds, dying, diseased, disabled animals. Other than the source, the process is highly processed. So the temperature, when you cook the food at 200 degrees Celsius or 250 degrees, you lose all the minerals and vitamins and all the supplements. So this food needs to be added, to be supplemented by preservatives, chemicals, colorants, flavors, and so on. So this is how bad, and it's causing all the diseases. And the question is very easy. And this is the main question we started at it. Do we accept, let's say there's a dry food for human, do we accept to have this type of lifestyle and diet?
Very interesting that maybe perhaps not much of us know that it's actually very unhealthy. It's interesting to see, however, the market growth of pets in the UAE, notable in online marketplaces such as Careem and InstaShop, where they all have sections there. Do you have a plan to integrate with these online platforms?
Sure. We have now, currently, we are direct to customer, why direct to customer? Because we have a certain added value and personalization to our customer. That's why, plus, direct to customer, we have a better price. Now, we are looking to integrate, but the main channel that we are looking for is to integrate with vet clinics. Okay, vet clinics also, they have their online, and if not online, they are the big influencers on the market, on the pet parents. So we are developing our platform now to integrate it with the vet, to have a vet portal where the vets can directly subscribe our meals, which will have a range of meals and a range, for example, of prescription diets that they can choose from and prescribe it to their patients. So yes, this is in our plan.
Okay, thanks. And I wanted to, actually, I came across a chart from Bloomberg that highlights the pet care market resiliency. So basically it's helping interestingly enough, companies like Nestle, whether basically its performance in light of inflation. So the pet care market seems to be resilient in your view.
Yes, definitely. It's one of the rare industries that grew during the crisis. And as you know, many households during the COVID phase, they brought a pet in their home because they were working at home and they wanted more someone or a pet to give them more warmth. So yes, definitely it grew a lot. In some countries, the population of pets doubled from what I know, and especially in the Middle East, some countries have doubled the pet population. And the pet industry, I didn't know before I went in the industry. My background is in engineering and software engineering. But now I know from Nestle, for example, we participated with Nestle, and lately I heard and someone working in Mars that the biggest department in Mars, he was shocked that it was related to the pet food.
Indeed. Actually, the comparison was between Nestle and Unilever, and the forward price to earnings for Nestle, how it sustained higher compared to Unilever, and specifically for the pet care services. I have another question from someone asking basically how much is the breakdown between food sales and health services at the moment?
Yes, we now all the income is from the food services. Now we launched the vet consultancy lately, like a month ago, and we launched it very quickly as a MVP. So we have a minimum viable product for our telehealth. We are providing this service for now as free for our customers. So our customers can, as an added value to attract, to retain more our customers and attract more customers. So our customers now can log into the platform and connect to the vet. Later on, definitely we need to monetize the service through subscription or through a bundle with the service, and plus adding more features for the pet parent and for the veterinarian also, which are, as I said, big influencers and an important stakeholder in this.
Okay, thanks. Another question, someone's asking how big is the market outside of Dubai? So I guess you're addressing the 250 billion markets worldwide, but then your focus is also the UAE and the region.
Yes, our targetable market in the region, as I said, it's for 4 countries. Okay, it's $20 million for the 4 countries, which are Saudi Arabia, UAE, Lebanon, and Qatar. Okay, so this is the market in only those 4 countries. And the market is increasing everywhere. Now, definitely, it can change, the plan can change. But for example, now we're participating in an accelerator program with the NKSA called Taqaddam. So this is giving us an opportunity to open in Saudi Arabia soon. And depending also on the opportunities, we have opportunities in Egypt. Egypt, it's a huge market also. We have a potential in Kuwait asking us for a franchise, and in different, even we're targeting European countries depending on the opportunity, because the market is still unsaturated.
Okay, thanks. And your business is a franchise, you follow the franchise model basically. So this helps with the ease of scalability.
We have a lot of automation in our processes and technology and platform that allows our business to be franchisable. Now, okay, we're not focusing on the franchise now, where we opened in Lebanon and in UAE in a very efficient way. But yes, it's franchise, it's ready, franchise ready.
Okay, thanks. So in addition to Yeah, تقدم. I also wanted to congratulate you on having a well-renowned angel investor also join your board, join your campaign. So thanks again, Jad.
Thanks.
And
Thank you.
as a reminder to everybody, PawPots, although they're 72% funded, they're still on the 5%, which is the final discount tranche. So you can catch it again. Don't miss the opportunity. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks, Nancy.
With me next is Michael ASKWHO from ASKWHO. ASKWHO is a social app that focuses on connecting like-minded people organized in groups. Since launched in 2019, ASKWHO raised over 1.8 million in capital. Currently, they are in overfunding phase with 150% achieved in record time. This raise represents a bridge to their Series A round, which they expect to complete in December 2023. Welcome, Michael, and congratulations on the overfunding as of now.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here and meet you all.
Thanks.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, cool. So as mentioned, my name's Mike. I'm the CEO and co-founder at ASKWHO. So when we were growing up, a phone was just a phone. It made calls, sent texts, and the batteries lasted for weeks. We used them to speak to our friends so we could go out and do more together in real life. When school was coming to an end, this guy burst onto the scene with an iPhone, and it changed the world and the way we socialize. 6 years ago, like most of us on this call, we all took bold decisions to leave our homelands to pursue our dream jobs and lifestyles. When I arrived in Dubai, I quickly found myself lonely. Can anyone relate? So, like billions of others, I took to social apps for the solution, but they're designed to connect to existing friends, video streaming, or business entertainment, all of which made my situation worse of meeting new people in my city. I come to the realization that I wasn't alone, with millions of people across the world reporting that they also feel lonely and depressed and isolated by social media platforms. So in 2019, I sat down with a friend of mine and we discussed building a solution. We quit our jobs and we went to work. 10 months later, ASKWHO was ready to launch. And guess what? It failed miserably. From retention to customer acquisition to fundraising, it was an utter disaster. But this wasn't failure. This was education. We dusted ourselves off, worked day and night, fueled by passion and determination. There's a huge problem to solve. It's just that our solution wasn't structured right. We worked hard with customers and we pivoted into a new direction 10 months later, and we arrived here. ASKWHO version 2, which is a dedicated local social group app for people to share, learn, connect, and do more together in real life. And guess what? This works. Since launch in October last year, we've had over 140,000 installs, 41,000 monthly active users, and we're growing 46% month on month. 40% of our growth is organic. We have world-class metrics and have surpassed most billion-dollar apps on today's planet. Our 8-week retention is on par with Twitter. The platform is extremely sticky. Our 20% of our monthly active users are active daily, and the session length on average is 4.5 minutes. We have 3 revenue streams, which is in-app purchases, SaaS, advertisements, and events. From Q2 to Q3 this year, our revenue has exceeded 160%. Company highlights: we've raised $1.8 million to date. The business is headquartered here in the UAE, and the social sector is growing at a compounded annual growth rate of 39.7%. We have a focused and passionate team with experience from Clubhouse, Uber, Kareem, and Microsoft. There is no other platform that enables you to meet new people through groups and events from a social aspect. AskWHO is all about connecting like-minded people in the cities we live in, not globally. That's what matters. Our value proposition is to meet new people like-minded in our city through well-organized groups. The primary target audience is 25 to 40-year-olds. The average age of user on the product is 30 years old. They don't need approvals from mums or dads to make purchases, and they have high spending power. The app is loved by users, and we're on the top 10 charts of social media, 5 places behind Facebook. We've been in most leading articles across the UAE and beyond, and Bloomberg Live TV a couple of months ago. This is a huge market size and a global problem. We started here in the UAE to get product market fit. Early next year, we'll be crossing into new markets. Thank you very much for your time. My question is, do you want to join us as we now scale to improve the lives of people across the world? I know we do, I know we can, and I know we will. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike. People are noticing the problem with socializing today. There has been a real, maybe a rise of people who are more lonely, even though we think we're socializing. So in your opinion, or how does AskWHO really, get over that?
Yeah, look, we can see the problem everywhere. It's just there's not been an effective solution to solve it. Instagram, by design, is inherently unsociable. TikTok, again, inherently unsociable. Facebook groups, there's 12 million Facebook groups. So where do you start? People only use it because they haven't got an alternative. What we've provided to the market is an effective solution to a real problem. And we've brought happiness to thousands of people across the city here in the UAE.
Thanks. And then what was the main differentiation, or what did you improve since, the launch of the first version, and then moving in how you pivoted in the next phase?
Yeah, sure. So the initial product for us was one-on-one. Basically, if you think of the concept of Tinder, Hinge, or Bumble, I would see you, you would see me. If we like what we see, we could connect, and then we could go out and arrange things to do. So our platform was one-on-one. Through trial and error and customer research based on our failure, we then pivoted into groups. So the dynamic changes. So it's easier to make suggestions. It's easier to share your thoughts because you're in a group environment. So that was the pivot for us, was we went into a group application.
You mentioned the differentiation, or you touched on the difference between, the difference between large platforms such as Facebook, that indeed there's many groups, and perhaps for Facebook to monetize, but not really for people to meet each other. So on one extreme, there's Facebook, but then how do you differentiate from the neighborhood community apps that are targeted towards smaller communities?
Yeah, the thing is with Facebook groups, I'll start there first. The thing is with Facebook groups, first, there's millions of them. So where do you start? And young people don't want to search through complex products. They want things now, and they want them in their face. So we've simplified that process. Moreover, we've streamlined the process, so we control the moderation of the groups. They're not managed by individuals that can have their own monetization or their own incentivizations in each of their groups. On Facebook, they're only as good as the admins or moderators, and most of them are terrible. It's full of trash, and they're just not moderated. So that's where we come in and we solve that problem. We're just streamlining the process. In regards to neighborhood apps, through our research, we come to the conclusion that the dialogue and the engagement in neighborhood apps is a lot less than what it is in Facebook groups, because the discussion and the value proposition is like, what if you don't get on with your neighbors? What else have you got to discuss? And if there's a a cat stuck in a tree. I mean, is that something that you're going to use every day and that you're going to get value from? We've built a platform for people to belong to and depend on as a community hub.
Thanks. Do you guys have any plans to add new revenue streams before, in addition to the three you have, the SaaS and the ads and the events?
Yeah, so the primary focus for us as a business is to balance our unit economics, which we plan to do in the next 6 months. So reduce our customer acquisition cost, improve our LTV. From a venture capital perspective, VCs in this current market, in my industry, I'm not sure about anyone else's, they're not focused on advertisements or event revenue. They want your SaaS subscriptions to be rising up with your monthly active users. And they want you to be retaining your SaaS subscribers month on month. So our primary focus as a business now is on our SaaS subscription and increasing it to balance our unit economics. What does that mean? That means that you can pay for your own growth. So if you're doing $20,000 on marketing, you're getting $20,000 back in the business through in-app purchases. So you can sustain your own growth as you scale. That's our focus as a business at the minute.
Thanks. And a related live question actually, they're asking for any info about financials and how long you guys can live before going to the next round. So I guess you touched on that a bit, or is there anything else you want to add?
Yeah, sure. I mean, look, social media platforms don't normally monetize until a much later mature stage, but we knew that we had to monetize quick in order to attract investors from an early stage. We launched a product, we got traction, it solved the problem. And I believe with any business, especially in the digital space, if you don't solve a problem and you're a nice to have, there's a highly likely chance that you'll fail. It's like you need to solve a problem for a specific customer segment. We solved that problem of giving people that community that they can go out and do things with others. In regards to our burn, like our monthly burn, we've got enough cash flow in the business to get us through to Q2 next year, of which we're already in with DTech Ventures, and we've got some other VCs that we're speaking to now. As long as we consistently hit our KPIs, we see no reason why we wouldn't get our Series A funding round early next year.
Yeah, but to clarify, you guys can live without this funding round. Basically, you're just you want to because they're asking how long you can live before going for the next round. So basically, you guys are maintaining the business as is, basically. And yeah, as you said, you're not adding new revenue streams. So it's just about monetizing and getting more out of the existing business model.
Yeah, it's about focusing on the existing SaaS subscription and scaling that up with our MAUs to balance our unit economics, which we plan to do in 6 months' time. At that stage, we can fund our own growth. But in order to scale into new markets, we'll obviously need to raise new capital to do that.
And then a related one as well, how many how many rounds are you planning to go through? So we know this was a bridge round, and then you're going to the Series A, and then they're just asking if you have other rounds basically in mind.
Yeah, sure. I mean, it depends on the growth plans. I mean, next year we want to hit the ground running in London. There's over 4 million expats living in that city. We believe we're product market fit. We solve a problem, we retain users, we retain customers, and people love the product. It solves a problem. So in London, there's 4 million people. We intend to hit the ground there, raise more capital, and then scale into the US the year after. Okay,
and then your exit strategy, if you can just comment.
To be honest, I get asked this question a lot from VCs and stuff like that. Personally, I'm in it to the end. I have no desires to sell this business at all. I love what I do. I'm the most passionate person that you could. I built this business based on my own frustrations. What's out there is just not good enough. So for me, the vision is IPO, but that doesn't mean that angels or VCs have to come on that journey with me. But I haven't got an exit strategy. And if I meet an entrepreneur and he tells me that he wants to sell his company in 2 years, I'm pretty sure that entrepreneur will fail.
Yep. Another question, someone is asking about how many subscribers do you have across the platform since it started, and the daily visits coming on, basically, if you have any top high-level indicators.
Yeah, sure. So we have obviously 41,000 monthly active users. We have over 500 paying customers in our product, and we've had over 140,000 installs. We launched only on iOS initially. As a startup, you need to box very smart with the budgets that you've got and not do a spray and pray strategy. So we've been scaling up the iOS platform well ahead of Android. Why? Because iOS users are more likely to convert to SaaS subscriptions. So that's been our focus, is to focus on the SaaS subscriptions and the North Star metrics that VCs care about, which is your SaaS scaling up with your MAUs.
Thanks. Someone is asking if you can explain more about the SaaS part, but if not, then I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah, of course I can. So like, service is a subscription. It's in-app purchases, also known as premium or freemium. It's where people buy digital features in a platform. Why is that so attractive to VCs? Because it's very scalable. There's no heavy lifting from logistics or selling products or factories. It's technology features. It's gamification. So that is where, that's where you want to hit your sweet spot, where you're converting anything from 7 to 12% of your MAUs to your SaaS subscriptions.
Thanks. In terms of, someone is asking if you compete with Privily, but I would answer them, no, you don't, because Privily is a paid subscription service where you actually pay on an annual basis to get access to clubs or gyms and basically accessing these kinds of places. You're totally different in the sense that you're basically a social app organized on groups, basically.
Yeah, Privily is a completely different business to what we have.
And also I would like to ask you if you guys have one-on-one chat, because yesterday we saw WhatsApp actually drop in the region, and it was a big thing. So you guys do offer one-on-one chat. So it's good for people to know that on the apps as well, that's available. Yeah,
we actually built our own version of WhatsApp in AskWHO. So you can create your own group chat and build that in a community for yourself, which I think is very important. I mean, I actually found out yesterday that WhatsApp was down through a post in AskWHO. And I went into some of the group chats that I'm in, and they were saying at least AskWHO's still going strong. So yeah, it's we have our own group chats in our platform. Yeah,
it can be a substitute, because for me, for instance, all the group chats were I was unable to access them, and then I actually did think of another app that could be a substitute, but now I know that AskWHO could be one. A last question about the rise of metaverse. I would like to know your views on how AskWHO would be positioned.
We're completely against the metaverse in every single way, shape or form, and we will never get involved with what that's doing. I think it's very sad for civilization that they'll sit indoors with lenses on to socialize with people. We are the opposite of the metaverse.
Interesting, yeah. Let's see how things pan out. But thanks again for your time. And I would like to remind everybody to access the opportunity via chat or our website. As AskWHO is in overfunding phase, unfortunately, there is no discount tranches available, but do not miss the opportunity to invest. It is still open. Thanks again.
And there are a lot of people on the call today that have invested in our business. And I'd just like to say thank you very much. Very much appreciated. Every dollar that we get into the business is spent extremely well on making us better and better as we scale.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
Next with me is Basil and Bilal Juni, founders of Urbie. Urbie integrates award-winning NASA-inspired technology basically to target indoor air pollution, basically, which is 5 times higher than outdoor air pollution, and a lot of us do not know that. They previously raised $220,000 on Kickstarters and currently doing a raise on Eureeca for production purposes, basically. They are 40% funded, however, still on the 10% discount charge. So welcome, guys. The floor is all yours.
Hello, Nancy. Thank you for thank you for presenting us. I'll just want to try to see if my screen share is working. Can you see me?
We can see you, yes.
All right, great. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to be presenting my company. My name is Basil. I have co-founded the company alongside with my brother, Bilal Juni. We are on a mission to design, innovate, and manufacture living green walls and biological air purifiers. Volatile organic compounds, VOCs, or in other terms known as...
Sorry, Basil, we cannot see your presentation, if that's what you're asking. We can see you, not...
Yes, my presentation. Oh, sorry. Let me try to... I haven't shared my screen, I guess. Okay.
Yeah, no.
All right, great.
Do you want to go back or?
Yeah. All right, so just trying to present my company. This is me, this is my brother. We have both been working hard for the last 3 years to make Urbie a reality. I'd like to talk about the story and how we got there. So volatile organic compounds, VOCs, are not known to many others. These are known as the silent killers, and they are literally found everywhere in our homes, from the furniture we have, from the paint on our wall, even in our cleaning products. And if you are a secondhand smoker, you will be exposed to them. So one of the many few VOCs that are mostly popular are formaldehyde, benzene, ammonia, and many others. Those chemicals are known to be carcinogenic. And actually, there's a study that has been made which shows that VOCs is the leading cause of the death of 900,000 people every year. Our why goes very personal. My father has been diagnosed with blood cancer, and surprisingly, his line of work was in the production of furniture. So he was exposed to many of those chemicals, and which made us very angry and upset because he was a healthy person, which many other people have been hearing about them having cancer for no reason. So speaking about those chemicals, they've been used in our furniture to make them lighter and cheaper for mass production. If you remember in the old days, our furniture used to be much heavier. That's because we used organic materials that we're not using anymore. If you look at this picture, it looks like a very comfortable and a harmless bed. It has more danger than we can imagine to our health and to the health of our loved ones. I got this recently, and it had a sticker warning on its back that clearly shows that this product can cause cancer and birth defects. It's only mandatory to use the sticker, by the way, in the state of California. Now, if you think about it, we have millions of furniture that are being produced and that are being placed in our home that have none of this warning. So that's the thing that we're not aware about, the dangers that this chemical is being exposed from the furniture, and usually it lasts between 2 to 5 years at the time that you buy them. The only thing that can remove those chemicals are plants and activated charcoal carbon. And we combined nature with technology in order to address this issue. Our first product, Urbie Air Purifier, has been inspired by a scientific NASA research that was made in 1989. And the research clearly shows that the roots of the plants have microorganisms that are good at trapping or breaking down those chemicals into safer compounds. And when they added activated charcoal carbon, the efficiency of breaking down those chemicals was very high. And that's where the core of the technology has been made in our patent pending. air purifier where we have placed a powerful fan that will force the air to get inside the soil, getting trapped into the roots. And on the other hand, we place an activated charcoal carbon at the bottom of it, where there is no chance of these chemicals to escape from the air purifier. On the other hand, we added other type of filters that will remove viruses, bacteria, dust, and mold. Here where it gets interesting, the problems with traditional air purifiers is that they cannot trap those chemicals, and they all claim that they can remove smoke. I have bought myself more than 15 air purifiers, and I have tested them under our research and development. They were all just copying each other by using HEPA filters. For those who don't know what HEPA filters are, they're good. They're good at removing dust, viruses, and bacteria, but they are very bad, but they actually cannot remove those chemicals. And when we speak about indoor air quality, they always just show the efficiency at removing those type of things, but never addressing the actual cause of our disease, of the disease that's coming from those chemicals. And that's where we have put our core focus, and that's where we're addressing the issue. Our upcoming project will be Urbie green wall purifiers, and that's where we are going to go bigger. We're going to occupy much bigger spaces, such as hotels, offices, and hospitals. As you said, we have, Nancy was mentioning that we got funded on Kickstarter. That was in late 2019. People loved our product, even without having it. Imagine we got $220,000 in sales. We got pre-seed funding rounds from friends and family of $230,000. We got 5 letters of intent, and one of the biggest were Procter & Gamble. They have bought from us few units, and now they are testing them. I actually met in person the director of innovation in Brussels, and they made me visit their labs where I learned a lot about the process. They would like to make purchase order from us very soon. Our business model have 3 revenue streams. We'll be selling bundle deals, for example, 3 or 4 of our devices in each household. We will be selling accessories. We'll be selling grow light lamps, wooden tables, as well as yearly subscription fees that needs to replace the filters that we have in our product. That's on a B2C level. On a B2B level, we will be having services such as watering the plant, trimming, cleaning the plants, adding nutrients to them, and more. The global market size is going to reach $23.1 billion by 2025. And if we only capture 0.3% of SAM, that's $47 million of revenue. On the other hand, the GCC market is going, the air purifier market on the GCC will be $260 million. And if you only capture 5% of KSA and UAE markets, that will be around $13 million of revenue. Now, before ending my words, Urbie is all about making our lives healthier. And when you join our journey, you are actually joining in spreading the awareness about this really dangerous issue, which is just like any other facts that can cause cancer, such as sugar or smoking. VOCs are just as important as those type of things. And if by doing so, you'll be even saving thousands of people's lives. And that's where we see ourselves. Thank you for listening, and I hope to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. There is indeed a social cause behind, social and environmental cause behind this, and also it means so much to you because you had a personal story with it. So, and it's in your view, when will indoor air pollution be communicated as a major issue? Similar to, you know, what we've seen in California, or with you, as you showed us a picture with your recent furniture purchase. Why is it mostly quiet in this region or in certain places of the world? And when would you see that? When will they start talking about it more openly?
See, people, well, thanks to the internet, actually, people are becoming more aware about it. And I think with time, there will be more pressure and laws that will be forced by the furniture industry to start using those sticker warnings. And that's where we are now entering in the right time as Urbie, because we are really in the right trend, we are on the right track. And that's why now many retailers such as Procter & Gamble, they were the most ones who were aware about those dangers, and that's why they were happy to work with us because
Excuse me.
yes, sorry. Oh, okay.
Hello?
Yeah, just hearing someone.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, so I mean that's why we're hitting the right time because we believe that within the next 50 years, people will be more aware and the value of the human will be much higher when it comes to the health factors. And I mean, like, for example, if I give you a dirty water, you wouldn't want to drink it.
Yeah.
So if we show you what's in the air, you wouldn't want to breathe it as well. And that's what we're doing here.
Thanks. Related question. Someone's asking, have you tried to combine this with the AC filtering system?
Well, the AC filtering system can only remove dust. I don't know what to answer more about that, but yeah.
And then how do you, I mean, because you combine plants and activated charcoal, so vis-a-vis plants, how better is Urbie, and vis-a-vis the normal or big box air purifiers, how do you position yourself?
Yes, of course. So yeah, okay. So when you buy any air purifier right now, it has a HEPA filter. Some of them will use an activated charcoal sheet, which is very thin, and they usually spray a powder of dust carbon activated, which is actually 98%. I'm not exaggerating. I tested them myself. They're 98% less activated charcoal than what we're using. Why? That's because they, research and development cost a lot of money and time, and that's where we come in to fill in the gap. After our research and lab tests we found out that the best way was to combine those two elements together, where no other filter can do the job.
And versus plants alone?
All right, so plants can remove certain types of VOCs because you have more than 100 type of VOC out there. So some plants can remove, for example, more benzene than formaldehyde. Some plants can remove more toluene than xylene. These are types of VOCs I'm just speaking. So plants are good at removing a partial part. So that's why when we add the activated charcoal, that's like a double layer of removing, of trapping all those chemicals into one place before they exit the air purifier.
So related to this is basically someone's acknowledging that because you have a plant and a living organization in your system, how do you ensure the quality of the purification in each and every unit?
Well, of course, again, like the plant will play a role in removing. There are certain types of plants that we recommend, and they are the most popular ones that you will find them in the plant shops. We even listed them. You will have a guide in our packaging where you can just give it to the plant shop, and you give them because our planter is detachable. You don't have to take the whole device. You can just take the planter, which is aerated. It has windows, so when the air passes in it, it gets out from the other side where the purification process happens. And all type of plants that we recommend have the same kind of efficiency at removing those chemicals.
And is your technology patented? Do you have patents?
Yes, we have patent pending technology in the utility because of the project has an internal ecosystem. It's not just an air purifier, by the way. It has a smart watering system for the plant. You can monitor the humidity, the temperature. It also has something that I haven't mentioned in the presentation. Many countries also have an issue with the high humidity level, and that can create a lot of mold and mildew in the walls. So our dehumidification, we added a component in it, can condense the excess water, and it can preserve it in the water tank. So when your plant is thirsty, this water can be recycled rather than being thrown away to the plant. and so on. Like I can keep going with the features. But yeah, I mean, our major core is the purifier, and those are the extra features.
And a lot of us live in the GCC, and especially here with the high humidity levels. So I think this is very useful. And so yeah, another question is related to because we all know that basically you're doing this fundraise to merely produce or meet
Exactly.
unmet. There's unmet demand you need to satisfy versus the growth or the scale. Generally speaking, the demand is there. So someone is just asking, what kind of deal do you have with P&G? Perhaps it's just an order, a purchase order, correct?
That's one, yes.
Yeah.
And the other deal we were discussing, because it takes time to, like to make a deal with such a huge retailer. They are interested in putting this product specifically under the brand Febreze. I don't know if you know about Febreze. It's like, yeah, it makes odor. It's like, so now they're looking for eco-friendly alternatives. And our product is an eco-friendly product. And that's why there's a lot of interest about it, where especially that the market now is shifting to a more eco-friendly products.
Yep. Okay, and then I guess the next stage for you guys would be the vertical walls, as you mentioned. It's to target offices and hotels and large-scale hospitals as well. So that's more like the bigger phase for you.
Yeah, that's definitely where we're looking forward to. Again, Urbie is a research and development company. We really value the product, and we take our time to make something that is quality, that's not existing in the market. And we're trying to address issues that haven't been discussed yet in the many other industries.
And speaking of R&D, can you please comment on the recent award? I recall you won an award. So
yes, that's true. We won an award in CES Las Vegas. That was in January this year, and we were awarded as the best eco-friendly design for this year. So yeah, that was like something noble for us, and we're happy to be there.
Great. Congratulations, and good luck with everything. And it's actually a great cause, as you mentioned in the beginning, and to all investors to understand the importance of how harmful VOC can be. So as a reminder, Urbie is 40% funded, but you can still invest at a 10% discount tranche. So thanks again, Bassel.
Thank you very much, Nancy. Thank you for your time.
With me next is EAT Global. EAT has over 20 brands across 16 countries, and the company basically has expertise of over 20 years. Some of their brands are very well known to people who lived in MENA, specifically in Jordan. And more lately, EAT has moved or pivoted itself into an asset-light company that owns brands and operates cloud kitchens. EAT Global is now 51% funded, however, still on the 15% discount tranche. Please welcome Aya from EAT Group to present. Thank you, Aya, for joining us.
Thank you, Nancy, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. My name is Aya, and I'm the Chief of Staff at EAT. I'm quickly going to walk you through our presentation. So as Nancy said, we are a 22-year-old business. We've pivoted throughout the years, and I will go into the pivot first to show you how we've transitioned from a traditional F&B business into the food tech space, and how we reached an asset-light model to cater to the hyper-growth plans that we have at EAT. So in 2018, we realized that in order for us to scale, we need to figure out a model that was easy for us to set up in different markets, that would enable us to tap into new geographies faster, and that would require less investment for us to be able to grow. And so in 2018, we've pivoted from owning our own brick and mortar or physical shops into becoming franchisees. So today we no longer operate any of our dine-in outlets, and I'll go into where those dine-in outlets are around the world. And also in 2018, we jumped on the cloud kitchen trend, and we started coming up with brands that were delivery-only concepts, banking on our 22-year-old culinary know-how and figuring out a way to tap into markets and build brand equity at a faster rate than our competitors that were tapping into the cloud kitchen space too. In 2018 too, we also launched our food delivery aggregation platform called Eat Delivery, which I will also tap into as well. So in a nutshell, we do 4 things. And all the things that we venture into fall under developing concepts for global growth. So we develop dine-in brands set for global growth, and we look for operators or local owners to own and operate the restaurants in the geographies and markets they're located in. We also build online brands or digital-only brands that we then also partner with operators such as cloud kitchens to operate on our behalf. We also invest in up-and-coming brands that we see potential in and traction and momentum to also scale beyond the local market they operate in. And we build technology to enable all the growth I just mentioned. 1 second. Okay. So this is where we are today. Within the, over the 22 years, we were able to collaborate and partner up with partners that are in over 16 cities. We have over 12 franchisees, many of which are in the UAE, Canada, KSA, Egypt, Palestine, Iraq, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and Jordan. We have 22 brands that I will also dive into on the next slide. And we are currently, or our brands are currently in 75 cloud and host kitchens. So it is important to recap here and just reiterate that we mainly build brands. We do not operate them or cook the food ourselves. And this is what enables our growth. Now, when we come to our brands, we have the digital brands that I mentioned. We have the dine-in brands over here. And here we have omni-channel brands that can act as either delivery-only concepts or dine-in only concepts. They're a hybrid. It is also worth noting here that some of our brands have been in the market for over 20 years. They have very strong brand equity in the markets that they operate and grow in. And so, for example, ASKWHO is over 10 years old. You have a Lemon that's also over 10 years old, Kazaricho is over 15 years, and Diritna is also over 13 years. And these are our star brands. On the digital front, these brands are typically new when you compare them to our super apps because they've been launched in year 2018 and plus. We have a brand like Shawarmama, who was a physical dine-in brand in 2006 that came back as a delivery-only brand in 2018. And as I said, we are very partner-focused because we believe that when we find the right partners to enable our growth with us and to find opportunities for growth with them, we are able to scale faster and have a more harmonious approach to how we grow our business. And so this is the, let's say, food tech space today. And these are our partners on every level. So for food aggregators, we partner with these aggregators depending on which geography. So when it comes to operating our digital brands in North America, specifically Canada, Toronto. We work with Uber Eats, etc. And when it comes to cloud kitchens that cook the food on our behalf, those are our partners. Same for managed cloud kitchens, host kitchens, and technology partners. It's worth mentioning that for those of you who do not know what host kitchens are kitchens that operate on their own and find certain hours during the day that they find themselves unable to drive traffic to their stores. So they onboard brands to start sending out like delivery orders from, to optimize their kitchen operation and kind of like rent the space when they're not using it. And so what's unique about the brands that we build is that they really focus around an experience. And this is what has helped us sustain 10 and 12 and 15-year-old brands. We're very mindful when it comes to building our brands and the detail that goes into them. So we really focus around building interactive experiences that move beyond a local market and that are able to prove solid traction in different markets with different consumers and so on. And same goes for the digital space. We are heavily invested in reading data, pulling up data that is able to help us understand the markets that we tap into. When it comes to our EAT delivery platform, it's a trusted on-demand delivery application that allows customers to curate their own restaurant feed. And it's very customer-centric. And we do our best to ensure that it is very curated in its offering, because we understand that our consumers are very overwhelmed when they tap into super apps that offer a variety of everything and anything. And so I'm just going to quickly talk about the why EAT. So as I told you, we have a proven track record on really understanding the business from an operational aspect, and then also pivoting and taking the know-how on a product and culinary level, all the way to innovation and disrupting ourselves and again. We're asset light given the pivot we've done in 2018. We have traction, and our franchisees and licensees serve over 2 million customers annually. And together combined, we have an online average rating of 4.5 stars. We get this number from a centralized software that gathers and feeds any online review for any listing available online for our brands into one dashboard. And then, as I told you, innovation is in our DNA. I'd like to point out that we were selected to join Endeavor, the largest high-impact entrepreneurship network globally back in 2016. And their main pillar to selecting high-impact entrepreneurs is whether the business is disruptive and has potential to scale. Just to quickly touch on our team, we really focus on building inclusive and collaborative cultures. We're flexible, and we really work on doing our best to provide innovative solutions for our employees. We are very transparent and honest, and we have equal opportunity at the core of everything that we venture into internally. Our retention rate is at 84% since inception. And today we're seeking $1 million for 5% equity. We've raised, as Nancy said, 51% of that already. And the use of proceeds will be for further tech stack development, for further expansion, specifically in North America and Canada. There's a really unique opportunity for us in Canada because we've tapped into Canada 2 years ago. the Canadian market really loves Mediterranean food, and there's a gap when it comes to Mediterranean cuisine. And we're currently only focused on setting up such cuisines in that market. So we have one of our brands, ASKWHO, that's a mezza experience concept. We've launched it in Canada on Queen Street back in 2018, and it's proven a lot of traction. From it, we opened a cloud kitchen brand of ours called Shawarmama, serving authentic shawarma in Canada, which is also in high demand. And we are continuously looking to expand across Canada, and therefore the use of proceeds will go there. And of course, business development, ensuring that we continue to find the right partners to help us grow our business. And we've been struggling to find a digital marketeer that would really like sum everything up. So if anyone knows of anyone that's really equipped to take this further, we'd love any recommendations. And that's it.
Thank you, Aya, very much. Thank you for all the explanation. So you mentioned you guys pivoted in 2018 into an asset-light company. You have the franchise. You don't operate the brands, and this is for ease of scalability. But then how do you deal with the competition within each pillar? Within the cloud kitchen, within the omni-channel, and within the franchises?
Sure. So we're a team of 40 plus, and we've kind of structured the business to really cater into like subsidiaries within the group. So for the delivery application, it's like a standalone with its employees only focusing on scaling the delivery application. For the digital growth, when it comes to delivery-only brands, we have a team dedicated to the growth and expansion on that front purely. That's the same case for franchise. It's also important to note that we really have an aggressive approach when it comes to finding the right partners. So when you find the right partners, it makes it a lot easier for you to scale in the three verticals that we operate in, whether it's franchise, whether it's kitchen operators that are genuinely passionate about your product and see the demand it generates, or even on an application level when it comes to selecting the merchants that we believe can also help grow our application. We are very partner driven.
Thanks. And when it comes to creating brands, do you actually do you proactively select markets to grow in, or you are positioned as a partner in terms of people coming to you to create brands for them, brands that they can own? How does it work normally?
So we own our brands. We own the IPs to our brands fully. And then we find partners, or partners approach us to operate those brands. And in general, when it comes to building brands, we have also a hyper approach, because we understand that the food scene, or let's say when it comes to like the franchise brands or the dine-in brands, it's a different approach than the delivery-only brands that need to kind of compete fast, pivot fast, continue to change fast. So it's different, but in general, we have a brand strategist that has over 15 years of experience, really tapping into each brand continuously. Mm-hmm. And that's how we were able to build brands that surpassed the 10-year mark. Really, brand positioning is at the core, and we continue to revisit our brand story on a bi-monthly.
It's interesting to see that you guys kept the hyper growth model versus an omni-channel, and we've seen recently Ktopia as well raise additional funds to also go backwards and operate restaurants and not just the cloud kitchen. So what's your view on that?
I think very early on, we realized that with the rise of the cloud kitchen space and like the model itself, there was a lot of questions on the sustainability and the profit that you would get as an organization from pivoting fully into a digital food tech business. And so I think what sets us apart is the fact that we have this conventional and non-conventional element when it comes to growing our business, because we realize that until this day, the cloud kitchen space is still being built and disrupted, and people are still trying to crack the code when it comes to that space. So we're a company that's relatively very composed when it comes to ensuring that there is this profit element to our business. We care about profit and we care about growth. We don't think that one should come over the other. So we don't believe that profit and growth are mutually exclusive. So I think to answer your question, it was very important for us to find that hybrid on a financial perspective too.
Thanks. And then for your brands, the brands you operate and you own, like how do you manage the IP or the patents between them? Someone's asking.
So we trademark all our brands, and obviously with trademarking, it's a long process depending on which market, which country, and what the legalities are per market. But in general, this is a top priority that we ensure that the more we scale, the more we cover in terms of trademarking and owning the IP.
Because you have more than 100 IPs, if I'm not mistaken, and yes. Potentially protected. You guys protect it in a local law.
Absolutely.
And do you guys have any, I mean, it's very interesting, your differentiation, the delivery app differentiation that you're focusing on niche brands, and then it could be curated versus, what we see here with apps that offer, it takes us hours to order food every time. So do you have plans? I know that this is just in Jordan. Do you have plans to roll out the delivery app here or in Saudi or in other GCC countries?
Yeah, so honestly, with full transparency, we started with Jordan because we understood that we needed to test our product and to really understand to what extent we want to enable the consumer to see what, remove what from their dashboard, and just understand the behaviors and trends. So we started with Jordan, and we've been in Jordan for almost 3.5 years, but we do have plans to expand regionally.
Okay.
Yeah.
And is Dubai a market for you, or it's fairly competitive?
So, currently, we're already in the UAE, so we do have
brands.
Yeah, not on the delivery front, but on the brand front.
Yeah,
so we have a couple of our brands operational and available for anyone to check online or in store. But the food delivery app will be something that we look into expanding into the UAE in the near future.
Great. And I understand that you guys, I mean, you distributed dividends in the past, and that was pre-COVID as well. Do you have, I mean, just for everybody to know, nothing is ever guaranteed. This is as an investment, but do you guys have the intention to distribute dividend, which is very unique for startups?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I told you before the pivot, we've really been profit driven, and then we've realized that we wanted to be profit and growth driven. And I would say before, up until what happened with COVID and the restrictions that really put us in a tight situation, we used to annually give out dividends. So we always discuss it internally that when the financial situation allows, of course, we'd be, this is what it's about for us,
Interesting. And you guys, related to this, you have been profitable on the EBITDA level as well before taxes.
Yes, 5 years now.
Which can be high relatively in Jordan, so yeah. Someone's asking if you guys have a presence in India. So the answer is no, but do you consider such high growth markets a target for you?
We're actually exploring India right now with a partner.
Yeah.
But no, we're not in India at the moment. But again, it's all about the partner and whether the partner is fit enough to kind of build a relationship with us that's a win-win. So we never close the door based on geography. It has to do a lot with the partner in that geography or market.
Great. Thanks a lot, Aya. Good luck. So EAT Group is 51% funded, however, still on 15% discount. So it's an opportunity to invest. Make sure to check out the proposal on the chat or on our website, as well as other opportunities. Thank you again for joining me tonight. If you also have other questions, you can email investors@eureeca.com or myself. Thank you and have a good evening all.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.